Hi, welcome to Learning Monkey. I am Vikram. In this class, we will try to understand transport layer protocols, TCP and UDP. The basic concept of the objective of transport layer has already been discussed in our previous video. If you haven't watched that video, please watch that video and come back here. And every video in our channel is going to be part of entire course or a playlist. Our suggestion is to follow the entire course so that you can have better understanding of the concepts. And the link for the playlist is provided in the description below. Now coming to this class, what is this TCP and UDP? TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol, which provides, so the objective of this Transmission Control Protocol is to provide a reliable transport service between the processes. So between the processes, the reliable communication is done by using TCP, is provided by using TCP. UDP, the opposite of TCP, which is User Datagram Protocol. UDP stands for User Datagram Protocol, provides an unreliable transport service between the processes. If you use the UDP protocol, the communication between the processes is unreliable. So what is this reliable and unreliable communication? So reliable and unreliable communication means whether the packets that has been transmitted by source, for example, if you take this internet networking, so if the source is transmitting the data to destination B, whether the packets that are being transmitted by A, all the packets which are made into segments or fragments in between the transmission, so all the packets, whether they have been received at the destination or not, checking whether the packets has been received at the destination or not, whether they have received in the sequence that has been transmitted by the sender, in the same sequence, whether they have been received at the receiver or not. So this is what we call it as reliable communication. That reliable communication is provided by TCP. Because why it is providing reliable and unreliable communication is, if you take the IP, internet protocol or the network layer protocol IP, so the internetworking, so for the transmission, for the host to host communication, the internet protocol IP will not take any responsibility. The packets that are transmitted into the internet, once they enters into the internet, it is not guaranteed by the IP. So who is going to take that responsibility? It is taken by its upper layer, network layer's upper layer, which is transport layer. So the transport layer based upon its application. So okay, so let me discuss this point, it is very important. As we have network layer, and above it we have transport layer, and above it we have application layer. So based upon the application, try to get this point, based upon this application, the transport layer is going to provide whether is going to use either the TCP or the UDP. Okay, either it can be reliable or it can be unreliable communication. But the network layer is always unreliable. So that reliability is provided by the transport layer based upon the application. So let's try to understand. For example, if we are transmitting the mailing services, if we are using the mail server, Gmail, Yahoo Mail, if such kind of services are used, whether that communication to be reliable or not, try to understand this point. Whether the communication for mailing services should be reliable or not. It should be reliable because, for example, if the entire mail of some attachment is attached and that mail is getting transmitted, in that transmission, if some of the packets has been discarded, means some of the content has been spoiled. So that reliability has to be assured for some of the applications like mailing applications. Okay, so in such cases, means the protocol that is used is SMTP. So we'll try to understand about these protocols in application layer. So this kind of protocols, SMTP, HTTP, FTP, these kind of protocols need a reliable communication. So the TCP will take that responsibility of reliable communication because the network layer is not guaranteeing any kind of reliability. Okay, so how that is done is, it is done by establishing the connection between source and destination before the transmission. In the TCP, before the transmission, a connection is established. TCP is a connection oriented protocol. A connection is established between source and destination. So after the establishment of connection, the data will get transmitted, and after if the B says that this particular sequence number, this particular packet has not been arrived, so the acknowledgement will be forwarded back. So all these concepts we have seen in the data link layer. In the data link layer, that reliability is obtained between the nodes, but here it is end to end. Okay, assuring the delivery reliability end to end is the responsibility of transport layer. For example, if you take applications for UDP, so the protocols are RTP. RTP stands for real, what we call it is, for example, if you are transmitting a video content or audio content, so they are transmitted by using RTP protocol. So what does that mean? Why we don't need any reliable communication? Here in the TCP, the overhead is high, so that once the overhead, in the sense the connection has to be established, after that the data has to be transmitted, and every packet will be checked whether it has been received or not, then only it will be transmitted to the application layer, top layer. So this is all makes the transmission of data very slow, but UDP is very fast. So what kind of applications is expecting unreliable communication and faster delivery? For example, if you take YouTube, the videos that you are watching, if some of the packets are lost, means you don't have any objection. So we are not worried about if some of the packets are lost. So such kind of applications is what is going to use UDP. Okay, so UDP in the sense user datagram protocol. So that is the reason some of the people will say that the IP packet has datagram also. It should not be. If the communication is done by using, so the end-to-end communication is done by using UDP, then we can say that that has datagram. If it is done by TCP, it is called as segment. So in the network layer, we have talked only about segment, but there are two kinds. If it is using TCP, means it is segment. If it is using UDP, means it is datagram. So IP in the network layer, it is what we call it as packet. In the data link layer, it is what we call it as frame. Okay, so now you got the clarity. Okay, so now this is there are some applications which need unreliable transmission. There are some applications which requires a reliable transmission. How that reliability is obtained, and what are the headers for that reliability, and what are the headers for UDP, unreliable communication, all those concepts we will try to understand in our later coming videos. But at this point, the point that you have to understand is there are two types of protocols. One is TCP and the other one is UDP in the transport layer. The TCP is the protocol which is responsible for reliable communication, and the UDP is for unreliable communication. Both of them have their own advantages. So this is how the transport layer works. It ensures the end-to-end communication and process-to-process communication. End-to-end communication means in the way of reliability. Process-to-process communication means in the way of ensuring that the right process is accessing the right. So the communication is between the two processes exactly or not. So that is the objective. These are all the objectives of transport layer. Hope you got the clarity on this concept. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon for the latest updates. And if you have any doubts regarding this concept, please post your doubt in the comment section below. And if you feel that this video is helpful to you, please give us a like symbol, and please share this video with your friends so that they will also get benefited. Thanks for watching.